Talk to me about latency and why it's so important for live streaming, why it's not a one-fits-all proposition. I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it, if we could just keep it simple and provide every end user in every situation with the same latency, but that doesn't make sense for a number of reasons, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit maybe in your introduction about economics, but let's just back up a bit. And I'm certainly not going to take credit for this sort of notion of the latency spectrum. You know, I think our friends at Wowser and Mux have done a really good job at describing, you know, the overall, you know, latency choices that we as, you know, technology companies, you know, deliver these experiences to end customers. And, you know, I kind of look at this latency spectrum, you know, at one extreme, you know, we have the standard, you know, chunk delivery formats that we've known and loved, you know, probably for a decade now, HLS and Dash. And we've come to expect like what we would call hand waving latency. So that's sort of the elapsed time between somebody standing behind a camera and waving a hand to somebody at the other end, the consumption device, the video playback device, being able to see that same action. So we've come to accept latencies of around 45 seconds to a minute on those traditional streaming formats. And it works great. You know, we've spoken about streaming events to tens of thousands, millions of audiences. And then at the other extreme, over recent years, we've seen near real-time streaming latencies, less than a second, with the technologies like WebRTC. And then we've seen kind of in the middle a reference point of broadcast, which would be, you know, digital DVB or cable. And that hand waving latency is anywhere between sort of 5 to 8 seconds. So I think what we're seeing in the latter half of 2020 and what we will see through 2021 is you know, adaptations and enhancements of our streaming technologies to kind of align with broadcast, so that we can synchronize the experience for second screen, for example, for live events. We allow interactivity with social media, so on and so forth. So yeah, it would be great to give everybody a 1 second or less than 1 second latency experience. I think you know, there's probably consequences to that. But one of the big ones, of course, is the economics. So I think we're looking at trying to optimize around that midpoint. Todd, would you like to add anything there?
Yeah, I have to agree. Let's blame it on broadcast. Let's blame it on social. And I think that Neil captured it perfectly, because broadcast becomes that gold standard, that 5 seconds. And then, you know, things like this, I'm watching TV and then I'm going to be sending text messages to people about what I'm watching. And then they're going to consume it on a second screen device, and Neil's watching it as broadcast. And all of a sudden we're out of sync. And you know, those are just experiences that have got to go away. And so we need to really look at live streaming no longer as a second-class citizen, but as a first-class citizen. And I think that the industry, be it in HTTP, be it in SRT, be it in WebRTC, be it in even slice-based encoding, I mean, I think that we're really progressing things really well to drive that performance, to be at a first-class experience.
Yeah.